excuse my hair, I just woke up. Donald Trump was inaugurated at 12, and just a few minutes ago, he has now claimed that there will only be the male and female gender that will be recognized in America. This sets...
Yeah, why the fuck is that a problem? It's only two genders. Just how if you're part of the LGBT community and you're a transgender, there's a reason why it's called transgender. You're transitioning from one gender to another if you believe you was born in the wrong body. And that's within your right to do whatever you want to do. I got nothing against the LGBT community. I got nothing against transgender people. But it's only two genders. The reason why Donald Trump had to sign an executive order, which is common sense, to end this madness that the far left have been propagating to this fucking society, is because of shit like this. Talk about there's multiple genders. There's 72 genders. No, the fuck there isn't. You got little children claiming that they could be men and women at the same time. You have little children claiming that they could be identified as animals, cats, dogs, items, for crying out loud. You don't think that that ideology was going to put people in danger? That is a sick, demented, twisted ideology. You cannot have a person who was a man saying, you know what, well, today I identify as a woman, I'm going to go use the woman's bathroom or be in women's intimate spaces. You don't think sexual assault cases are going to go up? You don't think rape cases are going to go up? Same thing vice versa if the female did that. A female decides to say, hey, you know what, I want to identify as a man and use the man's bathroom. You don't think that's going to be creepy, weird? What the fuck are we talking about? So that was an executive order to bring back common sense, because the far left have done so much protection to the LGBT, which again, I got no problem with it, but you guys have taken that rope and ran with it a fucking mile. Enough of this nonsense. 72 genders, you can identify whatever you want to be, you're non-binary, all this fucking bullshit. Cut that shit out. If you want to be a transgender, cool, do what makes you happy, but there's only two genders, or a reason why it's called transgender. You're transitioning from one gender to another. You can't be fucking both at the same time. Cut that shit out.
Back everything that the trans community has been working for, and we have already not been recognized in this country for centuries. If we remember, gay marriage became legal 10 years ago. We had just...
Yeah, she's right. Gay marriage did become legal about 10 years ago, 2015. That was before Donald Trump took in office. Not to mention, Donald Trump has had multiple gay weddings at his Mar-a-Lago residence. I'm telling you, Donald Trump, I believe, I don't know the man personally, Donald Trump is not against the LGBT community. Enough of this media propaganda bullshit. Now, some of the people who are on the far right, the Republicans, are, because their values are too deeply Christian. They are. I'm not rocking with that side. But the problem is, you people have gone so damn extreme with these pronoun bullshit. That executive order was simply to bring back common sense to the United States. And again, I do feel for the people who are in the LGBT community, because they are very fearful of their life, because you have people who just simply do not vibe with how they want to live their life. And I genuinely believe that LGBT people, they just want to be left the hell alone, live their life. They're not into, propagating kids and indoctrinating kids and trying to, have sexual assault and rape cases go up. I believe they genuinely want to live their fucking life and be left the fuck alone. But for the people, it's a small percentage of the people in that group have taken that shit and made it so damn extreme that he had to pass this executive order. Nothing against you, young lady or young man, whatever you want to identify as. Nothing against you, nothing against your rights, but people in your community have gone so fucking extreme with this pronoun shit. It had to be done. The fact that common sense had to be restored in 2025 just show how bad of a decline this society was heading towards. It had to be fucking done.
Earn the right to change our gender on our passports and IDs. Just because I want to identify as a man does not mean I am trying to hurt you. In these next 4 years, you are going to hear the most intense anti-trans propaganda you have ever heard in your...
I don't think that's the truth, because guess what? There was anti-trans propaganda the last 4 years. There's always going to be anti-trans propaganda. There was anti-trans propaganda during Bush's administration. There was anti-trans propaganda during Obama's administration. Hell, Obama was the one who spoke against same-sex marriage. He was not for it, and it's still not for it today. But the fact that You guys are taking your views of the fact that previous administrations were against that. Trump is all for it. He don't vibe with it. That's not his cup of tea. But if that's something that you want to live your life, go ahead and do you. That's your business. I get it. You guys should be protected. You guys should not be burned. You guys should not have derogatory remarks towards you if you want to live your life. But the problem is you were trying to indoctrinate that ridiculous ideology. Not you specifically, but people in your community, to little fucking kids, to little children. That is a problem. When you attack people's children and try to continuously push this narrative and even try to threaten people for misgendering you, that's a fucking problem. Because guess what? If people don't want to vibe how you vibing, you should not force them to vibe how you want to vibe. That's the issue, young lady, young man. That's the fucking problem. You can still transition if you want to. He's not saying, hey, well, you know what? You can't put, your gender on your passport. No, if you say, hey, you got all the procedures done and you want to be identified as a man or woman, you can do that. But enough of this non-binary, you're a man and woman, you're both gender bullshit. That shit is fucking ridiculous. Out the window goes that. That's what he's talking about. Nobody's trying to come after you unless the people who have common sense on their head. But the ones who want their little kids to be left alone and do not want to vibe with that and have been ridiculed by the ridiculous, crazy left, that if you don't properly gender somebody, if you accidentally misgender them, all of a sudden you're part of this. They want to cancel culture your ass. It's fucking ridiculous. That's what he's talking about. Nothing against you. You want to live your life cool. But it's people in your community have ruined it for you guys. That's what we're saying. They have ruined it for you guys with this whole pronoun bullshit. Enough of this fucking crazy ideology. Enough.
Entire life. And they're going to strew it in a way that sounds extremely convincing because it will fearmonger. It will fearmonger everyone's insecurities. Please talk to your neighbor.
Just how you guys have fearmongered the last 4-8 years. The left has fearmongered people the last 4-8 years that if you don't vibe with somebody who's who's part of LGBT, they're quick to cancel you. They're quick to call you homophobic. If you do not want to date somebody that has transitioned from one gender to another, they will call you transphobic. You don't think that's propaganda? You don't think that's fear-mongering to people? They were literally canceling people because they did not want to date somebody who transitioned from one gender to another. They were trying to cancel men, calling them transphobic when they found out a woman was born biologically as a man. What the fuck? You don't think that's a problem? You don't think that's a severe sickness? If you are okay with little children mutilating their genitals to transition to a gender because a classroom, a teacher, society told them to do so, you are a sick and twisted individual. Not you, because you seem like a very fine person. Don't know you, just reacting off the video. But for people who are pushing this propaganda and this insane ideology, you are a sick and twisted individual person if you are okay with little children being indoctrinated and mutilating their fucking genitals. That was what's going on the past 4, 5, 6, 7 years. That had to come to an end. Enough of that shit. Enough. Again, do I feel, a little bit worried and sad about the people in the LGBT community who are not, proposing this insane ideology and not trying to indoctrinate their kids? They just want to live their life. Of course I do, because there is an issue with that. But for the most part, the left, the media, people in your community have tried to ridicule people if they did not feel comfortable around people who are transgender or around people who are gay and straight. And that's their right. It's part of the First fucking Amendment. But you guys were trying to cancel that First Amendment and say, well, no, you have to call me by this. If not, you're homophobic, you're transphobic, you're this and that. As long as they're not saying any derogatory remarks towards you people, then they're allowed to not want to be around you people. It's their fucking right. Just how you're allowed to not to want to be around them. You see how it goes both ways?
Protect your trans community. Stay involved and do not forget us, because
Girl.
history will try to erase
Girl,
us.
nobody who has a common sense on your head is trying to come after you. You'll be fine. It's just the people, it's just the crazy ones of your community. You know, this fear mongering has got to stop. Enough of this shit, all right? But let me know what you guys think about this. Do you agree, disagree with my commentary? Leave a comment down below. Smash the like button. Subscribe to the channel. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.